it is time for another little video. One of the questions I get asked the most when I talk to you guys and, you know, in various videos, that kind of a thing, or whenever I talk about a new palette or what are my favorite palettes to use. So I thought I'd do like a quickie today and show you my 5 favorite palettes. And these are my 5 favorite because these are the ones I reach for the most, the ones that I always go back to, and the ones that I think are really a good, really good palettes for the money. And that's like the most important things. A lot of palettes, a lot of these are like $50. The naked ones, they're like a lot of money, you know, anywhere from 29 to, you know, 50 bucks. So I like to get a lot of bang out of my buck. And even though I love trying new palettes and will continue to try new palettes. Have you seen my Instagram? I've been doing the I've been doing this smoky Urban Decay Naked Smoky Watch. Yeah, I put that information up on my Instagram, so I'm excited to try that. I don't know how I feel about it from looking at it. If you have any thoughts on it, comment below, because I think there are a lot of people that don't like it. I have to swatch it and use it to figure out if it's worth it to me. But let me get right into these 5 palettes that are my favorites, and I will save the favorite #1 palette that I recommend to everyone when they say, what palette should I get? It's the one that I tell everyone that they must have. I believe it is a must-have. Okay, so I will start with one that is kind of the sleeper of my collection because I didn't realize it wasn't one of those that it came out and I ran out and got it in excitement to try it and everything like that. It's kind of one of those that I saw other people use over a long period of time, and I was like, you know what? Every time someone does a look with that, it looks really, really good. Let me check that out. And I went and swatched it. I still wasn't sold. I was like, I don't know. Once I got it home, started using it, it was like the one for me. It is from Stila, and it is the In the Light palette. The packaging is pretty decent here. It's that hard, a lot of these are hard, that hard like cardboard. So they make a bunch of palettes. I don't have any other ones, but they do make this one still. So these are all still available palettes, so don't worry about them. I don't have any limited edition ones here for you. But yeah, it's the In the Light palette, and let me show you the colors. Really, really nice colors, and there are a lot of different looks here, and that's what I noticed over time. That I noticed people were doing really nice gold looks that, you know, I love, and then using the silver and black to make a really nice kind of a smoky look. And then it has Kitten in it, which is one of their most popular colors. I think probably their most popular color, which is, it's beautiful. I like to put it in the center of my lid to brighten an eye look. And then there's Bubbly. I love Bubbly. That's right here. And there is one, let me see, 1, 2, 3 matte ones, or 4 matte shades in here, and a bunch of these are like satiny shades, so they aren't, you know, completely matte, but their color Bear, this one is matte as well, Bliss and Sandstone in the black, all matte. And yeah, there's some really nice, I like that it has super shimmeries, these, you know, Kitten and Bubbly, and then the mid-tone range, you know, satins, and then the mattes. That's why I think it's a really nice palette, because you can really get a whole eye look out of it. And there are very few palettes. I mean, when I look at my collection, there aren't a lot of palettes you just use them for your whole eye look. And this is one of those palettes, and why I think it is a good choice if you're looking for a palette that you can take. This is a great one to take with you for travel as well. But I think you'll notice that with a lot of these palettes that are my favorite, you can do a whole eye look with them. And I think that's, you know, really important. Again, when you're talking about, you know, $30 to $50, and then you want something that's kind of like an all-in-one. This next palette I was so impressed by. I don't really like the packaging. I have an older, thicker packaging. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Okay, it smells fantastic. Everybody talks about that. It does. This is, it smells really, really good. That's a really good selling point. If they could make a palette that smelled like gummy bears, oh my God, I'd buy 5. But this is a really good palette color-wise as well. There are really good colors. Again, it's one of those all-in-ones because you can see the lighter colors up here and this color right here. You can do, you know, your brow bone. Then you have this cranberry color here, which is beautiful. And there's some golds and some browns, you know, so for your crease, kind of transition-y browns. So again, a really, really great palette that's kind of all in one. And I was so impressed by this, and I don't use this one enough. Out of all of these, this is the one I don't use enough, so I'm using it tomorrow. This one I always go back to. I am crazy about it every time. When the weather gets warm, I pull this out every year. That's what it means. That's how much it means to me. I remember the excitement of getting this for the very first time and just looking at the stack of them. I got it not online, I got it in store. And I just remember the stack of palettes and thinking, wow, this is something so interesting. And I hope they make more of these. And I hope, and they did. And I hope, you know, that other brands do palettes, because I think it's the perfect size. And this is my original Naked palette by Urban Decay. It is like well worn the front. I'm not mad at them because of this. I know there were a lot of people that were like, oh, velvet, you know, because over time, this is years old. You can just see that it's well worn, but I don't care. Every time it's spring, I pull this out, and I love this because this is like, you'll notice I like warm palettes. There's not a cool palette here. If you were looking for a cool palette in these 5, there isn't one. Sorry. But yeah, this has just beautiful golds. There's gray, there's silver, there's just everything. I think if you ask me, there's so many favorite colors I have in here, but I think my favorites that I think are like really interesting to this palette, because everybody does gold, you know, this is the same silver you saw kind of like in the Stila palette. Everybody has some black. This isn't a totally matte black. It has shimmer in it, but everybody has this, okay? So this isn't like, you know, rocket science. It's really well put together. I like the packaging, but the colors I like the most in here are Toasted and Hustle. I love these 2 colors. I use them together a lot. Toasted and Hustle. I just love that combo. And then Half Baked is like the brightest gold of life, and it looks great on so many skin tones. It looks wonderful on fair skin tones. It's a really bright gold, so it looks bright on a fair skin person, and it looks bright on someone of my skin tone as well. And it stands out, and it just looks so crisp and beautiful. So I love the Naked palette. Now this one, I was really surprised how much I liked it. And she's made a lot of palettes, and they're in an older style, and I like them. I wasn't crazy wowed by them. But this new style palette that she makes, Kat Von D, I love it. It's like, I think the perfect palette set up. You know, I love the Urban Decay. I think setup wise, I like Urban Decay the most, the way their palettes are set up. But I really do like Kat Von D's newer palettes in the way they're set up. And this is my favorite one. It is the Monarch palette, and I love her. Okay, first of all, like the packaging, the design is absolutely gorgeous. I love this setup of the palette just because it's really interesting, because you can do things, you know, use colors in here, use colors in here, or you can do kind of the individual palette thing where you use, you know, this set of 4, you know, that kind of a thing. Or if you want like a matte, kind of a deep smoky look, with brown, which always looks really good, brown and black, that's a really good look. You could do like a matte look. So yeah, and I love this gold right here, but the thing I love the most in this palette is the orange. The orange is the showpiece. So I really, really love the Monarch palette. Out of all of her newer style palettes, this is my favorite one. My number 1 palette of life that I recommend to everyone. Anyone asks me, what palette is your favorite? What palette do I need? I'm new to makeup. What palette do I need? I tell them this is the one. This was a surprise as well, because I think this is like something that appealed to me when I looked at it, but I wasn't too crazy about it till I started using it. I thought, oh, this is a nice palette, but I wasn't crazy about it till I started using it and seeing the versatility of it. This is the Lorac Pro Palette, the original. This just has everything in it. What I like of the style of this palette is really cool, because you have your shimmers on the bottom and your mattes on the top. That is what I almost wish everybody would do. But if you're gonna make mattes, make them good. These are really good matte shades. But I love the fact that they have all of the shimmers down here and all of the mattes up here. Hey Max, what you doing, boy? And the color range is like amazing, better than everything else here, because you have really completely, because they're shimmers and mattes, you have a really complete setup of lights to darks, which I think is really great if you're starting out in makeup, or even if you know, just completely love makeup. It's just nice to, again, have everything in one place. You can complete a whole eye look with this, because you have, again, those lights to darks. You have mattes, which can really help. I love using mattes. Kind of when I start out, like I did today, I start out with some mattes and then have shimmers, and it really kind of adds depth to your eye look. So again, that's why this is just what I recommend to everybody, because you've got everything from white to black, literally, in this palette. Quite literally. So this is the one that I recommend to everybody. So if you happen to be watching this and you aren't a palette person and you're thinking about a palette, that's the one I would recommend you get. It's just, I think it's a perfect setup. And even actually, if you aren't a palette person, this is kind of the only one that I would think you would need. Like, I would think that somebody that doesn't like palettes in general, this would be like, okay, I'll get this. This is okay, because it's so comprehensive and does have the complete shadow color range that you could ever need, that I think this would be an exception for somebody that really wasn't into palettes in general. And I know people like that just like their single colors, and I'm not mad at you. I get it. I think I've gone through stages where I just like single colors, and then I like palettes, and then, you know, I go back and forth. But if a new palette comes out, I'm there. But yeah, so guys, let me know what your favorite palettes are. I just thought we'd talk about that today, since that's one of the kind of reoccurring questions that I get. You know, and I have seen a lot of newer people come in and start watching videos, and welcome. And when someone, you know, just, you know, realizes that I do reply to comments and things like that, that's one of the questions that I get. So definitely, this is my favorite. This is my favorite, my ride or die. So thanks for watching today, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.